Welcome to the network, the educational podcast designed to help our community navigate the four areas of life that I like to call the funky four corners. I've had the opportunity to interview some of my favorite people with one goal in mind: to help the spiritual, physical, mental, and financial health of our people as we navigate this thing called life. Subscribe to the network. You never know, you might need it. Y'all, we've been trying to put this one together for a minute, but we here. We got a good one tonight, y'all. So, I always got to bless you with some famous words from an American poet. So, in the words of the great American poet, George Clinton, this is a story of famous dogs. For the dog that chases its tail will be busy. These are clapping dogs, rhythmic dogs, harmonic dogs, house dogs, street dogs, dogs of the world unite, dancing dogs, counting dogs, funky dogs, nasty dogs, ultimate guardian dogs. Y'all, listen, we got a good one tonight. Let me tell y'all about guest number one tonight. Guest number one is a full-time artist and illustrator, dog trainer, and American bully breeder. He speaks dog. True story, y'all. He is certified in Dog Language 101. He is also gifted in portraiture and regularly receives portrait commissions. I know because he received a portrait commission from me. His art is hanging on the wall in my own house. Listen, his preferred mediums when it comes to art, charcoal and pencil. Lives right here in H-Town, Houston, Texas, with his wife, 4 children, and not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 dogs. Through his artwork and animals, today's guest proves that adversity does not have to define you, but can instead serve as a catalyst for transformation. If you're watching or listening, I want y'all to put y'all's hands together wherever you are for guest number one tonight. Give it up for Tory Bush. Tory, how you doing, brother?
Man, that was the introduction, man. Thank you, man. That was
listen, I got to bring you out. I got to bring you out. Now, listen, you're not here alone tonight. I got to bring out guest number two. Let me tell y'all about guest number two. Guest number two is an influencer with over 200,000 followers across his social media platforms. His page originally gained traction from the commentary during the toy hunt videos that he made. Y'all, he was out here hunting for toys, making trades. Y'all need to go check those videos out. Some of them kind of wild. But listen, his pages eventually grew into people requesting for him to watch and comment on their favorite movies. Now, he gets paid to do movie and music reviews on his platform. You can find him across all social media platforms as Ted the Toy Collector. Again, y'all put your hands together. Give it up for guest number two, Ted the Toy Collector. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Yeah, man, that was a hell of an intro. Thank you.
Listen. One day, this is what I'm gonna do for a living. Let me write it down because they said you got to put it in ink. Think in ink to make it real. Man, how are y'all doing tonight?
Man, fantastic.
Man, I am glad y'all are here. Before we do anything else tonight, we're gonna start with you, Tory. I want you to tell the audience where they can find you on X, Instagram, website. Give us all that information.
Well, I'm on Instagram at Tory Bush, Facebook. Same thing, Tory Bush, Ether Art. And we have ultimateguarddogz.com, Ultimate Guard Dogz on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube yet, but Ultimate Guard Dogz on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Yeah, forgot about TikTok.
There it is. All right. So you see the website scrolling along the bottom at Tory Bush. That's where you can find him. All right, Ted, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me at Ted the Toy Collector on every single platform. I try to keep it as unified as possible. Don't want to send people a bunch of different places. Ted the Toy Collector, anywhere you're looking.
Listen, keep it simple. Ted the Toy Collector. Ain't but one of them, y'all. Ain't but one Ted the toy collector out there. Listen, Monica G says she is so proud of you guys. I don't know who Monica G is, but she is so proud of y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Monica G.
And we appreciate the support.
There it is. There it is. There it is. All right, man. Look. So we're gonna dive right into this thing. All right. So both of you guys have been on the podcast before. Nick, you were on episode, I think maybe 5 or 6. I don't remember exactly when. Listen, y'all. This one thing I want y'all to know. I called him Nick. He's Ted. I know Nick, but he's Ted. So let me get this right. Oh, it's such a terrible host. Listen, Ted has been on before. Here's the thing I want y'all to know about Ted. Man, Ted is a hustler at heart. Okay, he's always making things happen. Always making things happen. So when he came on the podcast the first time, he was doing his first business adventure, which was New Seneca Village. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Okay. So y'all can go, man, this is before we were doing YouTube. We were still doing audio. So that episode is out there somewhere on the page. Y'all can find that one. And then Tory was on episode 39. Okay. So I want to say that was October of 2022.
Oh man, it's been that long.
Yeah. And one of the things that we talked about on that episode was your love for dogs and your love for art. Okay. And this is what you said. You was like, man, I don't want to tell the people too much, but I don't want to give them too little.
Yeah.
Right. So the Ultimate Guard Dogz is not new. This baby, This baby was in the womb at that time. Now this baby has been born. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So the first thing I want y'all to talk about, man, is I want y'all to talk about the birth pains, right? What were some of the difficulties and hurdles that y'all had to go through to get this book published, to get episode 1, not episode 1, but volume 1, issue 1?
Issue 1, yeah.
Yeah, to get issue 1. So, man, the first thing I want to talk about is the birth pains. So, Tory, I'm going to let you go first, and then Nick, you follow up.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a long story, so I'm going to try to make it as short as I possibly can. But
do that.
I was in jail, man. I'm a dog nerd. Like, can't say it enough. Like, I would really, like, watch the dog shows, man, and remember every breed. Look at any dog book I can see, you know, even as a kid, I had, you know, dogs, and I always drew characters, dogs as, you know, anthropomorphic, you know what I'm saying? But as I got into reading about the dogs and being on lockdown a few times and having comic books to read, and got to liking the art of the comic books from Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, you know, all those Impact. I just looked at all of the, you know, and mostly was just looking at the art, but mostly all characters basically are the same, you know, as you keep going into the, you know, the universes. So I wanted to do something different. I like dogs, and every dog, even dogs that I've had as pets, did super stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I had dogs that would run after hogs. I had dogs that would, you know, fetch and bird hunt, and, you know, just do some extraordinary things and have some extraordinary stories behind them. So I was like, man, maybe if I tell a story, you know, about what dogs really are capable of doing, but use, you know, like my stories, things that I went through in my life. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, y'all both know me, and, you know, Mike, you know me longer than Nick, but, you know, you seen me come up, and you seen how I come up. So it's, you know, it's just that. But I got out, I wrote it, I started drawing it, I started visualizing how I wanted it to look. So I got the stories together, and I started drawing it in prison. I wrote it first, and just started telling the story to myself and writing it down over and over and over. I look at a dog book, see their attributes, and write about it, and use their attributes to make their super ability come to life. You know, exaggerate what they really do and make it, you know, into something super. And tell a story without, you know, using real people, but use real dogs as well, like historical facts. I use historical things about dogs, like the real characteristics of the breed. I use them and, you know, put it into their character as well as a bit of me. So I want to talk about adversity, and I want to also talk about, because every dog in this book has been banned. On the cover, every dog except the Chihuahua has been banned. But if it was big enough, it would be. It probably got more bites than any dog on the planet. Yes,
Hold
sir.
up. When you say banned,
Wow, yeah.
what do you mean?
Like they can't go to certain apartment complexes. You can't have these dogs to do any like banned. Like you can't have own these dogs. In like the 70s, it was the Doberman Pinscher. The 60s was the German Shepherd. The 80s Rottweilers. 90s, 2000s the American Pit Bull Terrier. You know what I'm saying? So, and just to name a few of them. So I want to give people like me. I was a banned person. You know, I went to prison and I had a bad rep. You know, got some people nowadays that'll see me and I tell them I ain't messing around, and he'll be like, man, you're lying. You know somebody that knows somebody. What's that? You know, and I'll be like, man, nah, for real, bro. I don't do that for real, bro. Like, but they'll still tell me I'm lying. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's another story. But it go like I want to show that even if in your worst, whatever nobody say, you know, inside you is, you know, you have a unique story, and your story is up to you to write it, you know. So I get out of jail, I got everything in a bind. I've been writing this for years, you know. Like I was like 5 years in when I started writing this book.
Okay.
So fast forward 5 more years, I get out and I'm thinking, oh man, I got all this written. Man, it's gonna be a breeze. Get out, publish this, and voila, it's on. Man, look here. From 2015, I went to New Orleans. I'm gonna go meet my cousin Jewel, and she was a journalist. You know, shout out Jewel. But went out there, and she, you know, been doing it for years, since the 2000, like 99, 2000. So she been doing it for a long time. And I went up, you know, and told her about her shoulder. And she was like, well, look, it's a great idea, but you need to do this, and then do this, and then you'll be ready. Man, that took me till 2024, and that was in 2015, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And dedication every day.
In your mind, did you imagine that it would take all of that just to publish the first issue?
Man, we didn't even get to the publishing part. I'm just telling you that I finished the book. The publishing part was another, but I would have never thought. I thought it was just you do this, and you know. But no, like the old people say, man, come saw like that. But no, indeed, it was not just that easy.
Look, man, it take babies 9 months. It take comic books 9 years. Consistency.
Yeah,
Consistency. Hey, as the editor. Okay, as the editor, and I'm gonna ask you some questions about being the editor, but still talking about these birth pains. Walk us through the painful process of publishing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like what Tory was saying, right? We thought it was going to be so much easier than what it actually was to put this comic book out, right? The first time Tory ever showed me anything about the comic, I was getting my hair cut. He was cutting my hair in the garage of our house. And he was like, man, and I got a comic book. I was like, oh, that's random. Bet. But let me see it. And then he showed me, it took me through the entire story. And I was like, oh, cuz you on to something, bro. This is it. We got it. We gonna get out the hood with this one. I'm telling you. So after that, we were like, man, all we got to do is figure out how to make it like a graphic looking type of thing. And then we can, you know, once we make it graphic, then we can just go and get it printed out and we'll be okay. So we ended up buying this like, it was expensive. It was like $800 something. And a Wacom.
I got a book, and it told you about, you know, this is how you do a comic book.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And you know, so they gave you a step. We went with the step, and man.
Yeah, because like this is all unprecedented territory, right? Like we just taking steps forward. We don't know if they're in the right direction. So the comic book the book that he had said that we needed this thing called a Wacom. We spent $800 on the Wacom. It shows up, and then now me and Tory looking at each other like, man, do you know how to use this thing? You know how to use it? I don't know how to use it.
It was like having a full model TV, bro. That thing was big, man.
A Wacom?
A Wacom.
How you spell that?
WACOM. Man, I still see that thing in my nightmares, man.
Look, I got to get on my internet. WACOM.
Wacom. Yeah, man.
So we spend money on the Wacom.
We must have got the 2002 version because that thing still had that big back on it, man.
Man, that thing was huge. Yeah,
like
y'all had the tube version of the Wacom.
So we get the Wacom. We figure out really quick that we don't know how to use the Wacom. So then we make our first pivot, right? So we pivot into, well, your drawings look good enough as is. Maybe we can just tighten them up a little bit, get it copied, and then we can have the comic book, and then we're gonna be good to go. So after that, Tori, I know you remember this. We took the whole comic, went up to FedEx, and we were like, how much is it gonna cost to get this, like, you know, these pictures copied and then printed so we can make, and then we was gonna punch holes in them, put a spiral in it, and that was gonna be the comic. And then we both kind of had a realization. We were like, man, this ain't how other people are doing this, one. And then two, man, your work is so good, it deserves more than us being up at a FedEx trying to get this thing printed out, right? So after that, we had the realization that, okay, there's a lot more steps to putting a comic out than what we originally thought. So after that, Tory, then this is a while later, right? Me and Tory started working on the comic book in maybe 2020, as soon as I got back to Houston. And then, I mean, like he said, 2024, we finally got it out. But the thing that really like helped us take the step to being able to put the comic out was Tory working with a publishing company, right? So we get interested, and this is the birth pains, like where they really like where I felt them as the editor, right? So we get to working with this publishing company, right? Oh man, and we came across this publishing company because one of our cousins actually went through them to put his own book out. So we were like, man, this is proven. He got a man, and he do a play. So he put a book out, and the book got turned into a play that happens in like several different cities. So we like, man, this is it. We're gonna do the same thing. If they're gonna give him a play, then we can probably figure out how to get a TV show. You know what I'm saying? So we excited. We start working with this publishing company, and there were definitely red flags there. I'm not gonna lie, there were a few, but we were so excited to put the book out that we kind of ignored them, right? So the first thing was, it was a Christian publishing company. Okay, so they exclusively put out Christian content. I remember asking them on a phone call one day. I was like, hey, we got a comic book and it's about dogs with superpowers and it gets a little violent. Are y'all sure that this is okay to be sold on y'all's platform? Like, we got curse words and everything. And I shit you not, they told us almost verbatim, well, anything could be a Christian story if you think about it. So
yeah, they was like, you know, everybody tell their story different. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
so we were like, okay. So in our minds, we were like, cool, we good. So we go through all the steps. Tory paid out of his pocket because I don't know if a lot of people don't know. There's a million different ways you can go in terms of publishing your own book. More often than not, people go the self-publishing route, right? And the self-publishing space is so predatory. You have to be so sure and do your research on the companies that you're working with, because if we'd done a little bit more research, we would have saw all the negative reviews that this company had, right? So here's where like it really became painful for us. We're working with them. We get all the way to the end and we're ready to get the book printed out and get it like published and put it out everywhere. We had already got it submitted to the Library of Congress. We got it copywritten. And then they tell us, like, we're on the 1 yard line about to score a touchdown. They tell us right before they put the book out, hey, we actually can't publish your book. This is a Christian publishing company, and you guys have dogs in your book that are talking, and that's not Christian-like.
Yeah, they said it wasn't that it was like something other than a human being speaking.
Something other than a human talking. So
yeah, but you know, the way I paid for, you know, I breed dogs, you know what I'm saying, and sold a puppy and bet on black, you know, bet on a house, put it all in there, you know.
So let me say this. Never mind. I'm gonna be nice to that Christian publishing company, even though I read the Bible. I've actually read it from front to back, and I remember a donkey talking. But that's neither here nor there.
They published the Bible. That's one of their main books.
Man,
wow! So they publish it, but they don't read it anyway. Let me get off that.
That was my biggest thing. How did y'all publish our book and didn't realize until the very end that we had something other than humans talking, right? So that was very upsetting. But we thought it was okay because what they did was they ended up suggesting us to their sister company, right? Who we gonna keep them nameless because I don't want to bring any type of attention to them at all. You know, even if it's negative, I don't want nobody to even know about these people. But
they shall remain nameless.
Yeah, so we switch over. It was a pretty seamless switch over to start working with them. They had all of our information, and man, everything just started going downhill so fast. And the biggest problem that I had was they overpromised and underdelivered on everything. After they had our money, we couldn't get in contact with them anymore. We on the phone with people. They got an attitude with us, like, man, why you calling me? You know, stuff like that. We asking them questions, trying to figure out how to move stuff forward, and they sound annoyed. So I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. But we finally got to the part where we put the book out, the book ready to go. You know, and we excited about it. They tell us everything is squared away. They send us the concept. The concept looked good. We finally get the first issue of our comic, and the title is spelled wrong. They spelled Guard, G-A-U-R-D. So the first shipment of books that we got were all spelled wrong.
Yeah.
How many books was that?
Was it 20?
20 or 50? One of the other.
It was a big number.
It was a big number. It was enough.
And then it had people that ordered it off of the website. So they had already put it out on their website, and people already ordered it, and they got it, and it was spelled wrong.
They put the landing page on their website spelled wrong.
And what's crazy, they didn't even give me a copy first. They called me when he was already published and out, and was like, "Hey, we put it out this morning at 5 o'clock." I'm like, God, I don't even get a proof. I can't read it.
We can't roll out our own book.
They will remain nameless here. I do, however, suggest that y'all go on Google and give them a negative review because we don't want anybody else to go through what y'all went through.
Man, I'm telling you. And then after that, it just didn't stop, right? So it's like we went through the process of getting our book fixed. We finally got the book fixed, and then we had issues with the actual pay breakdown, right? When we signed up, it was one thing. And then at the end, because one of the things that we got really excited about was the distribution side of everything, right? They were telling us, you know, just selling us dreams. You're going to be in Walmart. You're going to be in Target. You're going to be in Walgreens. Anywhere that they got books, Barnes and Noble. We're going to put your book in Barnes and Noble. And then at the end, after all that, then they told us what the split would be on sales. And man, literally, it didn't even make sense, right? So for anything that they sell on their website, they were keeping 75% of it, which is not what they told us originally. And then after that, anything that got sold on Amazon, Walmart, Target, any of those websites, they kept 90% of the money.
And we got
10%.
They said they're gonna pay y'all a tithe.
Man, tithe. Talk about.
Bro, we get 10% of the book that we created.
They gonna pay y'all a tithe.
Come on, man.
Okay, so I'm just gonna guess that y'all are not with that publishing company, right?
No, they still distribute the book on all those platforms, and it's worldwide. They did deliver on that. Got some people in Australia got my stuff on eBay. You know, they doing it like that. It's in Australia, Japan, the United Kingdom. It's everywhere. Like they really went worldwide with it. So that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen a check from it. We haven't seen the numbers from it, but you know,
no insights ourselves with them. And if you call them and ask them about it, they're gonna get mad.
Man, look, they told me this. I called them and I asked, you know, when I'm gonna be able to see a check or something about, you know, my book. They asked for the number. I give them the number, and they was like, man, probably the end of August, early September, something like that, man.
We've been working
like, God, really, man. That's how you handle me.
Yeah,
all right, I appreciate it.
I'd say, like, all of that aside, though, that all of that would be forgivable if they didn't mess with our actual profit margins, right? So when we signed up with them, the biggest selling point was that they told us that they would be able to sell us books, copies of our book, for $5 a pop, right? To us, that is a no-brainer because it's almost double that anywhere else that we try to get the book printed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get the book printed for $5 a pop, then we can make smooth $13 profit margins or even charge less for the book, right? But they gave us the suggested retail price of the book. which was $18.99. They told us, hey, this is what it looks like. You guys should charge $18.99 for that. So we priced our entire business structure and model off of the fact that we were going to be selling books for $18.99 and then making this level of profit. Right as we're about to start selling the books, they hit us up and they're like, hey, actually, it's going to be $11 a book. Or what was it? Or $13 a book. Which one was it?
Yeah, $12.50.
It was $12.50 a book that they said that they were going to charge us, right? Now, here's my thing. How can you charge us $12.50 a book when you told us that we have to sell the book for $18.99? So, and then on top of that, to ship media anywhere in this country, it's $4 at a minimum, $4. So you told us to sell the book for $18.99, but you're selling the book to us for $12.50 plus $4 for shipping. That leaves us with $2 for every book that we sell. How we would have to sell 1,000 books to make $2,000.
And the only way we could have got the price point of $5 is that we had to buy 1,500 books or more to get that price point. So
right. Told us we had to buy 1,500 books to get it for $5 a pop. Come on, man.
Yeah. Listen, Gigi said that's messed up.
Yeah, man.
That is messed
She said that's messed up, man. And listen, one of those misspelled copies. Monica G said she want one of those copies.
I think she got one.
She got one, yeah.
You got one? Okay.
Yeah, you got one. I appreciate that, Monica G.
That's one of 20.
She matter of fact, look, I can't read. She said I got me one of those copies. My bad, yeah. Monica. My bad, Monica. I can't read. Man, that is so that's still an ongoing process, right?
Yeah. Well,
okay. So, Ted, I'm gonna come back to you for this question. So, tell me about your approach to editing a comic book with such a unique concept written by Tory, who is a K9 expert.
Yeah, honestly, it's the easiest and most fun job ever. He gets to, man, Tory will tell you a billion different stories, a billion different ideas, and I just got to sit down and listen to him, and I'll be like, oh yeah, no, that's fire. Now you should do that. We was just doing this yesterday. Just he telling me, hey man, I got this idea. This character gonna do this, and he gonna do that. And the whole time I'm just like, ooh, yeah. Like at the most, as an editor, I'm like, well, what if he said this, or what if he said that? And then like the real editing comes into like putting it down on paper, making sure like the exact words are, what they're supposed to be. But aside from that, I'm just listening to Tory tell stories. It's like I get to hear it before everybody else. It's a pretty sweet gig.
Man, listen, hold on. Let me lean over here real quick. Hold on. Hopefully I don't knock my backdrop over.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look, I got my copy. It is well written. It's well written. It's well illustrated. Listen, I don't know.
You got an exclusive one though. You got a special edition. You don't look. I got one. This is a new one. Mm-hmm. It don't have that. This is what the new one got. The new one got that one. But look, this is what we did for the next one, man. Look, this is what we want y'all to take away. Leave you with a quote, man. Today's the first day of the rest of your life. Make it count.
Make it count. All right, Tory, check this out. I know that this is your life's research, right? You have actually lived what you're writing. So what are some of the key themes and messages that you want your readers to take away from this story? Key messages and themes. What do you want them to take away from it?
Well, I want them to think about doing what you love to do, go the furthest you can with it, and as well as just the first day of the rest of your life. Make it count. Make every day count. Don't be aimless. Have a goal, set it, and go toward it. You know what I mean? And no matter what obstacles, no matter what hurdles, no matter what, keep going. Push forward. Even if you're a boxer and you get your hands cut off, you have to figure something else out because it's not the end of the world.
Okay. So I'm coming back to you. Are there any real life experiences with dogs that influence the storylines in the book?
Absolutely. I use the beginning is colored, like it's the narrator introducing the world. And then it switches to black and white. And a lot of people ask me why I did that. It's because dogs are colorblind. So I use splashes of color in it to where, a lot of people, you got to understand, like everything is not just black and white. You got gray area too. And, dogs like are vivid in smell and hearing, so they can almost hear and smell and see sound. You know what I'm saying? Like even when they smell, they see what they smell. They already know what it is. So even, you know, like this, how we got to use our senses, you know, to the ability of a point where you can see. Even when you can close your eyes, you still can see. Even when you know, can't hear, you can smell. And it, you know, it's just like that nostalgia thing. You know, you smell a certain smell or bring back a memory that you had completely forgot about. You know what I'm saying?
So what you're telling me is that as I go through this book, and some of it is color, some of it is black and white, the dogs have these certain characteristics, all of that is written or illustrated that way on purpose.
On purpose. That's why it's like that. You know,
Okay,
I want you to see it from the dog's point of view.
Okay, that's what I was getting ready to ask you.
Yeah, so, I want you to see it just
now,
like that.
I got to go back and reread it.
Yeah.
y'all had posted online, I think I remember something about Easter eggs in here.
Oh man, a whole bunch of them.
Man, look, my old behind don't know nothing about no Easter eggs, but for those of y'all who do, man, get you a book. Y'all tripping. All right, Nick, let me come to you, man. Let me come back to you. All right, your experience as a social media influencer, right? TikTok, YouTube, did that have any influence on your approach as the editor of the comic book?
That's a good question. So in a way, I feel like in my time being on the internet in the past 2 years that I've been Ted the Toy Collector, I've kind of like realized how people interact with things on the internet, right? And it's made my eyes a lot clearer on like the process of growing, right? Whenever I became Ted the Toy Collector, oh man, I was getting the blues on TikTok, bro. My comment section was filled with more hate than it was love, right? It was, oh man, you a grown ass man collecting toys. Oh man, bro had a bad childhood. Oh, bro, like stuff like that. Unnecessary hate, but it's easy to kick the little guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People don't really mess with you until you're bigger, you're larger, and then they see other people supporting you, then they want to support you. So in terms of the comic book, that was already in my mind, man. The fact that we've received as much support as we have, even though we're still like just starting to roll this out, and we're still, you know, we're a 4-month-old comic book right now, you know, and we have received so much support. It's mind blowing to me. I like whenever I first started making content, I didn't get this level of support. So it makes me happy, but I was also prepared for the worst. Right. Tori and I used to have conversations like, man, how many of these books do you think we're going to be able to sell? How many issues do you think we'll actually sell? And we've blown my expectations out of the water right now. So and you know, it's so interesting because I really don't think I'm an influencer. Right. You know, 200,000 followers like across all my platforms and everything. It sounds like a big number until you get on social media and you see people that have way larger followings that do nothing. Or they just do absolute bullshit, right? Like there's a guy that I follow on TikTok, or I followed on TikTok, then he started crashing out. But all he does is pour soda on his head. That's his whole following. And he has like 3 times the following that I do. And he just gets on live and he goes, oh, well, if you pop into the live and you donate, I'm going to pour this Coke on my head. Whoa, I'm going to do it. And that's his whole gimmick. And people show up and they support it. So one thing that I've learned about being online is that there is an audience for everybody. No matter what it is that you're doing, you just got to find your lane, stay in your lane, and do what you're supposed to do in your lane. And then the audience is naturally going to come. So when it comes to the comic book, I'm like, man, if you like comics, if you like dogs, if you like action, if you like good storytelling, that's what we got to offer you. And if you don't like that, this might not be for you. And that's okay.
That's it. And you actually took the words out of my mouth. So, you know, run your race. Stay in your lane, you know. So look, I don't know about you. You say 200,000 ain't a lot. If somebody wrote me a check for 200,000 right now, I'm not going to work this year.
You know,
I'm resigning tomorrow.
You know, it's so crazy you say that.
Man, it's so crazy you say that.
You want to tell them?
Man, look, I get a phone call last Wednesday, I get a phone call from Greenville, North Carolina. I don't know the number, so you know I'm kind of, you know, if I don't know the number, you don't text me, man, I ain't answering that.
Yeah.
So they left me a voicemail, and it was like, man, look, we from a such and such agency, and we came across your work, Ultimate Guard Dogz. We wanted to know, we do movies and we do stuff like this, and we want to know if we want to talk business. So I'm like, man, let me save this voicemail. I sent it to Nick and Jewel and my wife, and y'all listen to that, man. So they, it was flattering to me, like, man, somebody trying to scam me, man. Somebody trying to make it seem like you're gonna make a movie. I'm like, that's cool. But then the Friday come, they send me an email, same lady, same number, and she named every company that she worked with, every big producer that you can think about, and they came across the Ultimate Guard Dogz Unleashed and offered me $250,000 to acquire my work, man. To work with me, acquire my work. Believe me. Ain't that something, man?
That is. Couple of things. Let me say three things. Number one, if you are in my network and you know somebody who is in entertainment law, I need you to either connect with me or you get straight to Tory, Ted, or Jewel. Okay? So if you're in my network and you know somebody that you trust, which means you know they are trustworthy, so we need you right now. Okay? The second thing, for those of you who are prayer warriors, I need you to pray over Tory, over Ted, over Jewel, over this business venture. Okay? Because the third thing I'm gonna say is, and this just came up in my spirit, man, that $250,000, that's great. That's not enough though.
No, man, that's what we already said. We was like, man, they offering that out the dump, just out the gate. You ain't even talk to me yet. I already know, man. So,
yeah,
man,
and that's, man, I'm saying that with all sincerity.
Yeah, I mean, it was flattering. That's what it was for me. It was flattering, and it's motivation, letting us know we're in the right path, right direction. We're in our own lane, and look, we're running our own pace in this race. We ain't racing nobody but ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We'll separate the best from the rest is to dedicate and execute. You know what I'm saying? And believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That's it, man. Listen, this comic book is 4 months old. So we talked about the birth pains. Now we got a baby. This comic book is a baby still in diapers. Look, let me do this real quick, y'all. Let me do my commercial, and then we're gonna jump back into this thing, y'all. Listen. Before we go on, I need you to like, subscribe, sign up for notifications if you're watching on YouTube. If you are listening by podcast, be sure to go to iTunes, give us a 5-star rating, then tell a friend to tell a friend. Listen, this is episode 64 of the network. I got the designers of the dogs, creator Tory Bush, editor Ted the Toy Collector. Listen, I need y'all to get out there and follow these gentlemen, okay? So I'm going to drop these on the screen right here. Boom. At Tory Bush right there. That's where you can find him. And then on all social media platforms, Ted the Toy Collector.
And then really quick, same thing to everybody that's watching on TikTok Live right now. We got 242 people watching on TikTok Live. Make sure y'all go over to YouTube and drop a follow and a sub on the network, Michael Prejean. You can see it on my screen right now. Go look that exact thing up, the network, drop a follow, drop a sub. It's free to support. We appreciate y'all even being here to watch. Thank y'all so much.
Man,
definitely appreciate it.
Grab a copy of the comic.
Grab a copy of the comic. Subscribe to the network. Like I tell everybody, you never know, you might need it. All right. We got a couple more things, then we're gonna play a game, okay? Tory.
Yeah.
How do you think this comic book is gonna resonate with dog lovers and comic book enthusiasts?
Okay, man, that's a great question, man, because this was my aim. I'm a dog fancier. I'm a dog enthusiast. So by me staying true to the breed and the characteristics of the dog and use historical facts about famous dogs, these dogs that I'm talking about are real, live, actual history makers. Like Sergeant Stubby, he will definitely be in the book. Like Barrett of St. Bernard that would save people in the Swiss Alps. He's going to be in here. Real live superhero dogs. You know what I mean? This is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? as far as recognizing comic book characters, man. If you like X-Men, if you like if you like Batman, it's everybody in one. You know what I'm saying? Like I modeled my German Shepherd, which is a shepherd, Alsatian wolf dog. This dog is a shepherd, so I used him as my Nick Fury. He comes together and shepherds the group together. That's how he became. He uses his ability to work. You know what I mean? The boxer, of course, an oxymoron. He's a boxer who's a boxer. Things like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it was a saying like a chihuahua. If a chihuahua would be a million, one chihuahua ain't nothing, but a million of them, man, that's like getting in a piranha tank. So that's what my chihuahua does. He multiplies. You know what I'm saying? He's everything that you can. So I can get. That's what I mean. It's vast. It's vast. Like any dog breed that you can think about, these dogs are going anything that's in the AKC, the ABKC, the UKC, dogs international. Like Australia have dogs native to that country. The UK, Russia. We haven't even been to these places yet to introduce these dogs about the things that they were bred to do. So I think it's for everybody. I think it's a little bit of something. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Listen, those of you who are watching on Instagram Live, man, thank y'all for joining us. Happy Black Girl and Monica would love for you to go and speak at their schools.
Man, I want to do that. Yeah.
So I'm throwing that out there. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So, all right, man. Let's play a game. Y'all, can we play a game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna play a game. You know, we got to play a Funky Four game on every episode. So this game is most likely to. This is our first time playing this game on the network. Okay. Then after this, we got two things after the Funky Four game. Nick, after the game, I'm gonna ask you to give us good medicine, and then we're gonna wrap it up with you didn't ask, right? And then Tory will give us you didn't ask. All right. So y'all ready for this? All right. So I'm going to ask, man, the sentence stem is who is most likely to, okay? And then y'all going to tell me is it you or is it Tory? Is it you or is it Ted? Okay.
All right, bet.
All right. Who is most likely to answer the phone if you call in the middle of the night?
Tory.
Me.
Without a doubt. do not call me.
Who is most likely to treat your house like it's their house?
Tory.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is most likely to have the best snacks at their house?
Tory. He got a family.
Okay.
He's got the best snacks.
Who is most likely to make you laugh when you're sad?
I go Tory too.
I'm gonna say Ty. He got a great. He get a sense of humor from me. You know
I'm gonna
what
go
I'm
with Tory because I don't even like being around sad people, man. They make me sad. So,
so
it's hard for me to joke whenever somebody else.
And look, I'm gonna be real, man. This is what I learned in prison. You know, they say you laugh to keep from crying, man. You know what I'm saying? So I done been around some sad people, bro. Man. Like, man, look, when I'm talking about sad coming back from court, and then people done told you that number, man. What? How can you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel bad laughing.
Man, you come back from court, you got 15. Like, dang, boy, they hit your hard up on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Man.
That's how they go, bro.
Next question. Who is most likely to back you up in an argument, even if you're wrong?
Tory.
Okay.
And look, it's one of my things, man. I lied for you before I lied to you, my nigga.
Hey, there it is. I lied for you before I lied to you. All right. Who is most likely to forget to return something they borrowed from you?
Me.
You said that quick.
I might have something to Tory's right now. Now I'm thinking about it.
Hey, Nick say, what's yours is mine.
Yeah, ours is we. That's for we.
All right. Out of the two of you, who is most likely to become a meme?
Probably Nick.
Probably something real unironic. That
You'd have been a meme before, man. You remember you was a meme?
Oh yeah, I did have that one. Like, it was the most random thing. I said I was watching a TV show and I was like, man, this dude is a whole ass nigga. And people started using it as a sound like over and over again. They're just random.
Wow.
Yeah, boy. So
Okay. Which one of you is most likely to cheat at a board game?
Nick.
Yeah. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'm trying to win.
Hey, that's what these football coaches be saying. They be saying if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. All right. Who is most likely to be a secret superhero?
Oh, that's me. I read that. I'm already a secret superhero already.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to keep it a secret.
Yeah,
I'm already a secret women superhero. In my life, women at bars. You know I protect the city at night, huh? You ain't know that?
Yeah, man, he gonna blow his spot. Yeah, they call me this. I'm the target, you know. look at the resemblance. What? Let me take off my glasses. You know how Clark Kent just went. Take off these glasses. You see, you remind.
Hey, you know who I am.
Yeah, man.
You seen the video of Kevin Durant in the club shooting jokers?
Yeah.
That'd be me.
Cutting backflips. No. Yeah, running up the pole and stuff. Yeah.
Oh man, listen. I lost my next question. All right. Let's do this one. Okay, here we go. Which one of you is most likely to be insulted by a child?
Probably Nick.
Yeah, probably me. Kids be talking slick though. So actually
look, my daughter is a God child. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, Layla say something, man. Like, look, I'm gonna tell you, she did me this. You know, I was eating a taco and something had flew in her eye. So she came by me like, Daddy, can you blow in my eye? So I'm like, yeah, okay, hold on. I put the food down, chewed it up, swallowed, wipe my mouth, and I'm blowing her eye. And she was like, Daddy, you was eating food? I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, that's disgusting. And I couldn't even blow an eye no more. I'm like, dang, bro, you too. How you gonna tell me that? You asked me to blow in your eye. You know what I'm saying?
Now I remember one time I'm over at their crib. His daughter walked up to me. We playing or something, and then the ball rolled over to Tory. Tory pick it up. She look at him. She go, "No, Dad, no. Girls only. Girls only. Come on, Paul Rand." And told me to come on. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Hey man, you made it to the girls club. It's a compliment, baby.
Yeah,
compliment. Man. You made it to the girls club. All right, here we go. Now, both of you are dog owners. All right. So, last question. Which one of you is most likely to throw a wedding for their dog?
I feel like me, honestly.
Yeah, look, man, my dogs, they don't have that kind. They're not tied down, man. You know what I'm saying? They have kids by different daddies. They got kids by different mom. You know, that's they think. You know what I'm saying? So I can't tie them down, man.
Can't tie them down.
Nah, not them. You know, maybe after they, get a little older, I can tie them. But nah.
Okay, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all. Y'all got a good solid relationship, man, because y'all on the same page for most of those questions.
Oh man, that's what it's about, man.
That's what's up, man. Listen, y'all, we got the designers of the dogs. We're coming up to the last two segments. All right, we got two segments left. Ted, the toy collector, you're gonna handle this segment for us. We call this segment Good Medicine. This is where you prescribe a book, music, podcast. It can be anything, but only one thing that has been life-changing for you that you would like to prescribe to our watching and listening audience. What do you have for Good Medicine?
Oh man. I would say I go out of my way now to make sure that I'm watching whether it's a TV show or a movie. I have something consistently that I can go to at the end of the day. Whenever I'm done with all my work, whenever I'm done being stressed out with whatever it is that I'm stressed out with throughout the day, I have something that I can go to that is like my personal me time, right? And I'm lucky in the fact that I get to get online and talk about it, and people, encourage me, and they really interact with me talking about these TV shows that I would be watching regardless if they care about my reviews or not. It just, the fact that people show up and support means even more. But I got to watch The Sopranos for the first time. I sat down and I watched, though I'm watching The Walking Dead right now. And man, just having something that's like an hour long, 2 hours long, 30 minutes that I can go to that can be my point of peace That's so important. And if it's a TV show, if it's a podcast, if it's music, make sure that you got 30 minutes to an hour every single day to be able to do something that brings you peace, because you spend, at least 10 hours out of the day being productive, working, handling business, whether it's your kids, whether it's your job, whether it's just general life, anxiety, depression, just uncertainty in general. That stuff takes a toll on you. And it can physically make you sick, just like it mentally and emotionally makes you sick. Have something that is a point of peace for you, because if you don't, life can get real scary.
That's good medicine. That's good medicine. Make sure that you have something that anchors you. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have a point of peace. That's good medicine right there, Ted the Toy Collector. That is good medicine. All right. Unfortunately, this brings us to the very last segment of tonight's episode with the designers of the dogs. This brings us to You Didn't Ask. Listen, this is one piece of unsolicited advice that nobody asked for, but we gonna give it to you anyway. This is a staple of the network. So, Tory, you are gonna give us this one piece of unsolicited advice that nobody asked for. What do you have for You Didn't Ask?
Never give up. Follow your dream. Do what makes you happy. Just like Nick said, give a little bit of your time a day to something that you love doing. I love drawing. I love dogs. I get to do it every day. Who would ever thought that I could do something that I love and actually get money for it? You know what I mean? And people asking about it. Your ideas mean something. Your ideas are something. You know, anything that is ever thought about, anything that ever is, was thought about before it was. So the first step is probably the hardest step, but every step counts, and never give up. You know what I mean? No matter what come in front of you, no matter what come behind you. So sometimes you got to go through something to get through something. You know what I'm saying? You can't just stand at the door jam and wait for it to happen. You got to take that step, open the door, and walk through it. And uncertainty is, everything you do in life. So dig deep and go for it.
Y'all heard the man. Dig deep and go for it. Don't ever give up. Listen, before we wrap this thing up, Tory, there's this concept I was introduced to about a year ago by a guest on the podcast called Ikigai. So every opportunity that I get to share it, I like to share it. Ikigai is this Japanese concept where all of these things come together. What are these things that come together? What you love, what the world needs, what you're good at, and what you can be paid for. When those four things come together, that is called Ikigai. And I would like to tell you, good brother, that you have achieved Ikigai because you're doing what you love.
I'm going to give it to you just like this, man. I know we got a couple minutes, but it's not only in the Chinese. It's in a different, it's like the yin and the yang. The Native Americans talk about two dogs fighting within you every single day. You have a good dog and you got a bad dog. And they fight every single day. But the dog that wins the fight is the one you feed the most. So whatever you're doing, so if you're doing like cutthroat, conniving, whatever, then you're going to get that. That's who's going to win the fight. That's who's going to show every time. That's why as always you see dudes in the street, their mama be like, man, my baby ain't did that, because she only see one side. You know what I'm saying? We see the other side, but it's just like that, man. So dig deep and feed what you going, that's who win the fight, man.
Listen, y'all, one more time. If you are watching on YouTube, if you are listening to this audio podcast, hit that like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Follow the network with Michael Prejean on Instagram, _network _podcast. The network with Michael Prejean on Facebook. We're right here on YouTube. Make sure that you check the show notes for good medicine and the advice that you didn't ask for, but we gave it to you anyway. Listen, y'all, this is the network. We are the free educational podcast designed to help you in 4 ways. We like to call these the funky 4 corners of life. We're trying to help you physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially as you navigate this thing called life. Signing off, my government name is Michael Prejean. For Tory Bush and Ted the Toy Collector, subscribe to the network because you never know, you might need it. Until next time, we want you to do one thing. and one thing only. That's make love the culture.